Greetings, everybody. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid Arctic, episode 27, Trapping. These shelves are slightly thematic, so there'll be like one of clothing, one of sports equipment, one of car stuff, one of food. Big hiking bag. I have got a large backpack. So this is a 2280, and mine is, I think, better. 2785, yeah. The only one better that for me that I don't have is the military one. And I'm holding out hope that I'll find one eventually. I was surprised that I didn't find any military backpack in the entire prepper building. Would have expected it, but nope. Box of jars, so if we wanted to jar some stuff. This is all booze. I think this is all fresh produce. Well, was once fresh produce. Oh no, I'm wrong. Orange soda. That's going to be something important as I rely more and more on my farm. It's going to be hard to keep my weight up eating salads and stews made of just vegetables for the most part. So getting high caloric items will be good in the long run. Lard, ice cream, butter, sugary junk food. That way if my weight ever dips, I could fix it. I'm not bothering to get all the rotten stuff, because A, there's tons of it, and B, it just takes so long to produce compost from it. It's just not worth it unless I'm desperate for compost. And I don't need the sacks. I have like 8 of them back in the base, currently unused. Did I check this? Yeah. Man, these shelves are so empty. I haven't hit these shelves of clothing yet. Here is where they start. Really hoping to find leather, the leather pants that I like, because they're super rare to find. But given how little there is on the shelves, I'm not going to hold my breath. Was that a welder's mask? It was. I already have, I think, 2 or 3 of them. That's why I'm not grabbing it. Take another balaclava, though. Gonna have to make a run back to the... Oh, I checked this. So I stopped at the row with the barrels. The green container barrel things. One of the stores that I live next to is a Hugo plush, and that would have clothing as well. That's always a possibility. And what I was going to say is there's also like junk food in some of these trailers. Oops. I just screamed over here. Well, I guess I'm about to find out how many zombies there are around. It's a shame I can't do any trapping. I actually could do some trapping. I'm just not likely to find very much as a result of the server settings having yield be very low. But it's not to say that it's a 0. I could definitely attempt it. So if you want to propose it, I'm all for the attempt. I missed this row here, yeah. I didn't check these. Woolly hat. That sounds warm. Oh, violins. That's... Now I know where the zombies are getting it for all the jump scare music. Another thing I just realized is, given the scarcity of metalworking stuff, it would be really hard to level up metalworking unless you just break down tons and tons and tons of appliances and the like. Well, we're almost through, and I definitely did not find a scarf. Not yet. Or a leather jacket that would replace my current one, which is unfortunate. A race to the top. Thanks, Zen, for the bits. Do I need one thing of welding rods? It's probably not a bad idea for me to start collecting welding rods. Probably right about that. I'll grab them in a sec. Ready. Crash cards are pretty good for XP. Yep. Crash cards are pretty rare in this server setting as well, though. Everything is rare. Cars, metal working stuff, everything. It's one of the unexpected consequences of this difficulty, is leveling up things that require the grind is just harder to grind for because you just don't have the materials. In fact, I barely found any food in here. There was one big traffic pileup when I was trying to drive to the hit vids that was near the coast. So I could swing by that way. Because there was, I don't know, there were like a bunch of broken cars. Alright, I am not loving the whole drowsy and exerted. I'm not going to worry about the welding rods. The likelihood of me putting in time for metalworking and actually bothering with the welding rods is probably pretty low. Can you stop ankle grabbing? Cut it out, dude. This is packed in Louis' day. Maybe took it all? Yeah. Yeah, poor Victor here is 6 months too late to have any of the good stuff. There's one more shipping container that I haven't checked. This one, over way up top. So I'll hit that before I leave. Just trying to lower my encumbrance. Oh. Okay, I don't have to check that. That's convenient. One of the advantages of the metal shelves over the wooden boxes is you can see if they have anything at a glance. Where were the welding rods? I feel like if I don't grab them now, future me will regret not having grabbed them. You think, what row was it? I think it was the back one. Whatever. Let's just run through it. It's one of the first rows. Oh, quit sprinting. You're gonna fall. So one of the weird things about sprinting in this game is, like, if you want to stop sprinting, you can't that effectively. Which makes sprinting kind of dangerous. Because you don't stop quickly. So you can definitely sprint, like, straight into danger. Without meaning to. Yeah, I remember the first rod. There was another welding rod that was in here, I thought. No, maybe it wasn't. That was food. Booze. Okay. Go into the first row. Well, one thing I will say is this warehouse was a bit of a letdown, but we did find a nice van. Alright. What to do tomorrow? Fix the car some more. Build a staircase to the generator roof. Set up trapping. Level long blade and spear. And yeah, we'll just, I like those choices. I was gonna add my own, but I don't think I need to. I would get some logs on my way home. My only worry is that I'm tired and I'm exerted, so my melee damage is like tiny. So if I ended up pissing off zombies, it would be very, very difficult for me to win the fight. So 1, 2, 3 on the 4th intersection, take a right. Hey, thank you for the raid. An Everdream raid. Well, welcome, raiders. What were you playing? You are also playing Project Zomboid. Nice. Tell me about your stream, and I'll tell you about mine. Mine's pretty straightforward. I am just about maybe a month and a half in to a Cryogenic winter raid, a Cryogenic raider. Wow, words. Playthrough where I have a bunch of like extra little rules for myself just to make it more obnoxiously difficult. So loot is insanely rare, and my character can only farm in heated areas. that have like skylights, so basically no farming outdoors, and just those kind of rules. Because I'm a digital masochist and I want things as difficult as possible. And I was attempting to find myself a scarf, because it is getting threateningly cold out, but unfortunately, no joy, did not find one. So you've been playing on a community server, that's cool, and just learning how to play? Learning how to live, not just survive? Yeah, that's actually, I get asked a lot, like, oh, how do I learn Project Zomboid? And my answer to new players all the time is like, don't bother trying to collect stuff, don't be a pack rat, just learn how to fight. Learn how to take on groups of zombies, because until you can fight groups of zombies, nothing else in Zomboid is going to be fun. And then eventually you can get to the whole, like, alright, here's the items you should collect, and here's how to, like, cook and forage and trap and all that jazz. But it is a devilishly difficult game to get into for those reasons. So I totally understand. But you're about to see my digs. You're about to see my little base. It is currently negative 36 Fahrenheit, which is roughly about the same in Celsius, with a wind chill of about 20 Celsius colder than it seems. So we're talking like negative 50 Celsius right now. AKA super freaking warm. I'm kidding, of course. Sounds like an incredibly not fun time. Well, here's the base. The weirdness of the pools. These are like pools. Just the texture's all bugged for reasons. But yeah, here's my little humble abode. So I've got this is a pool house, so it has a skylight above me. And this is my tiny little farm field that I started in the middle of a pool house. With my book collections and everything else. Modest little base. It has running power and plumbing and keeps me warm and cozy in the negative bajillion degrees it is outside. The first time I've been running Cryogenic Winter, and I gotta say, it is fun, but oh my god, it gets cold. I suppose I should have realized how it's called Cryogenic Winter after all, but I was a little surprised how cold it got, how quickly. Because I'm in August, and it's like negative 60 out. You can farm. The game actually lets you farm anywhere. It has, like, no rules. This is going to get updated next patch, however. I think. Or at least they've teased that there's an update to farming next patch. But currently, plants don't need sunlight. Plants don't need... It just needs soil and water. And, it's easiest to farm outdoors because it will rain and that waters your farm for you. If you farm inside, you have to water manually, which is kind of annoying because it's a very labor-intensive task. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't. And the requirement I made for myself in this series is that I have to, because it's negative 60 out. So, you know, I'm role-playing that it's simply too cold out for me to farm outside. Understandably, I think. But yep, the farming systems in Zomboid are somewhat robust. But yeah, here I'll show you what upstairs looks like. It's kind of hard to see because of the graphics, but this is a skylight here. It's just not loading. I'll run down here. I'll make it load. So this is a skylight, and my farm is directly underneath the skylight. As purely role-playing, just because it's more challenging, because there's not a lot of skylights in the game. And clearing out this building was rough, because there was maybe like 600 or 700 zombies in this building when I wanted to make it my home, so I went through a lot of weapons trying to get my little zombie biter friends out of here. It was a trip. It's nighttime, so I can't really show you how behemoth this building is, but it's like 7 stories up or 6 stories up, and it was just completely full of biters. Good times. Very good times. And yeah, I'm in Louisville. So, this is Louisville. I've been marking down on the maps. In fact, I need to mark some more. Because I just cleared this building. Cool. But yeah, I'm in downtown Louisville, so it's got, you know, kind of a lot of exciting zombies around. I'm on a slightly lower than normal pop, though, which makes it a little bit easier. I set this up as a 6 months later, which means the amount of loot that I have is pretty scarce. But wow, that's a really big teddy bear. And the zombies have twice as much health, so they're tanky, very tanky. I kind of regret doing that to myself, but oh well. Killing zombies is very... it takes a long time. My weapon skills aren't that high. Here's my skills. I've been working on long blunt, long blade, and maintenance mostly. A little bit of carpentry and other skills too. I was making good progress until I shattered my femur falling off a roof. So the recovery time took me a bit. It's a tradition at this point that like I fall from a great height and that's what kills me. Zombies don't, well, I can't say zombies don't kill me, but I think I've committed suicide via gravity more than via zombie. The katana sticking out of the table looks risky. Mm-hmm. One wrong move and I'm circumcised. Surprise circumcision. The worst kind. Lorena Bobbitt. My little friend. Alright, it's late. Let me get to sleep after eating some... Nope, hold up. We've got 2 things of cabbage that I'm going to harvest first. Hey, Victor, you ready for some raw cabbage? Mm-hmm. I punish my dudes. I'm, one thing I'm really terrible at in Project Zomboid is trying to keep my weight normal. So my characters usually whip between, like, 10 kilos underweight to 10 kilos overweight, and nothing ever in between somehow. I'm, like, magically unable to keep a healthy weight. Just, like, keto and fasting, and then gluttonous gorging, and nothing in between, so... I was just, like... What was I? I was, like, 100 and... Not 100, but, like, 90-something kilos, which is so very heavy. And now I'm back down to 81, which 80 would be, like, ideal. But I'm sure, knowing me, it's going to plummet to, like, 70. I'm going to be feeble and frail, and then whip back up to, like, 90. I was, like, 96 or 97, yeah. I was pretty thick. And I don't think I deserve that, either. I was eating, like, bean soup. Like, I don't even know where the weight was coming from. Like, calorie-wise, I don't think I earned it. I magically just gained it. It was very chunk. So what did you guys end up voting for tomorrow? We are going to set up trapping. All right. Cool. Well, I have a bunch of fresh cabbage, so that's going to make trapping a lot easier, I suppose. This cabbage is a pretty decent trapping food. Not as good as carrots, but very, very close. Alright, Vic, get to sleep. That's a dope green room. Thanks. Now, the real question is where to put the traps. Because I'm in, like, downtown, right? I think I could go southwest a little bit. Because there is a park south of me, but it's kind of through a hellish suburban strip area, which I'm not super eager to mess with. but I guess I will if it's required. The other thing I don't have is the trapping book read, like, at all. And then I believe I have one of the some of the survival exposure tapes. Do you guys remember where I put my... here it is. I have water collection... so I have 2, 4, and 8 for survival exposure. Hey, buddy. What's going on, man? Which might help with trapping a little bit. I would have to look up which tapes are for which. I don't have it memorized. So, I don't have wire. So if I'm going to trap anything, it's probably going to be the old wooden box traps. I do have some twine. So I could make sturdy stick traps. So do you guys want me to do a mix of traps? I'm just going to assume that you do. To try to catch birds and rabbits. But I can't make a trap box because I don't have the trapping skill. So first things first, let me look up the PZ VHS tapes, because if I can just watch a tape and power level my trapping skill, that would be awesome. So 2 is for fishing. What did I have? 2, 4, 8? Yep, 2, 4, 8. 4 is carpentry, and 8 is carpentry. So I have a bunch of carpentry tapes. I didn't realize. All right, so we're not doing the box trap. Scratch that off the list. So I'll make, let's say, 4 of each type of trap. And this is my little mascot, one of a few. He's a real boy. He's not just a very fancy VTuber. Even though he looks unrealistically... looks like a little Mogwai here. Little Yoda. His name is Yoda. Hey, John Shea, thank you for the resub. I have to remind myself the intricacies of PZ trapping, though. So, the trap crate cannot catch... So it can catch squirrels and bunnies, but not birds. And then the stick trap can catch birds. So I have 4 crates. So then I would want to make stick traps. So let me get twine. And I'll put these traps down for now, because I'm not setting them up just yet. Here's my twine. And make some sturdy sticks. Make 1 more. Wish twine could be ripped from cloth and sheets. I know. I'm 100% agree with you. Because it makes stick traps so very expensive as a result of not, being able to, like, make twine out of things. It would be brilliant if you could. So now I have 4... I have traps of each type. Should I make snare traps too? I think trap crates and snare traps are the same catch ratio. And snare traps cost twine, so no, I'm not going to do that. I'll take it back. So now I have 4 of each type, so I can catch birds, squirrels, and bunnies. And then in terms of how to catch them... Squirrels are best with cereal, peanut butter, apples, corn, lettuce. But not cabbage at all. Ouch. And then bunnies want cabbage. So if I bait the trap crates with cabbage, I'm probably going to get bunnies, which is fine. And then for birds, birds want bread, bread slices, cockroach, crickets, grasshoppers, worms, corn, cereal... I do have some worms, so I will bait the stick traps with worms and the trap crates with cabbage. So I should be getting bunnies and birds. Yep, so I only need 4 of these worms. Cool. And then I have the cabbage on me. Cool. All right. We're set. That was oddly easy. Now, the other thing that I don't have is a great place to put these, but, you know, I'll make do. Oh, it's lovely out. Negative 38 Fahrenheit with a wind chill of about 15 to 20 Celsius below. Would the rooftop work for birds? No. So the way the traps work, you have to set the traps up 75 cells away from where you live, because you can't trap anything that you live near. So the roof would work for birds, but like not if I live in the same building. So like a roof, some other rooftop would be fine, but not my apartment complex rooftop, because it's too close. You haven't touched PZ in like a year? Well, now's a great time to get back into it, but pretty soon it gets yet another huge update. And by pretty soon, I mean pretty soon in like Zomboid time. So if you track Project Zomboid's development cycle, you know what I'm talking about. But update 42 and 43. 43 is probably a year away or something like that. But update 42 is looking like it's going to be pretty amazing, because it's the first time it's introducing NPCs. So update 42 completely revamps the crafting system so that there's like crafting trees, so that you rely a lot less on looting, and you can eventually level up to the point where you can source materials and stuff for yourself. And then it also updates... Oh, is this going to be one of those big fights that just keeps going? I think so. It also adds farm animals and animal husbandry. So chickens and sheep and things like that. Alright, I'll put on my danger lights. I'm going red. It is, no, it's 75 cells from where you are. Essentially, you can't be near your traps for your traps to catch something. So it's 75 cells of like where you usually stand, and not just like from buildings or whatever. Now, as far as things to trap, one way to check is the area that you're in. Unless you're trying to catch rats, which is like an urban animal to catch, you're going to want to set up your traps where it says like vegetation. So see how where I'm standing right now is vegetation, but if I get too close to this monument, it says nothing. Put down your traps where there's like animals and vegetation to catch bunnies and squirrels, because you're not going to catch squirrels in like a factory floor. So there's different things to catch, and it depends on where you physically are. So there's field mice, rats, birds, squirrels, and bunnies for now. And if you're trying to catch rats, you can set up your traps, you know, in buildings and the like. But the other creatures, you're going to want to set them up outside. So let's place the stick traps. And I just picked here because it's like a park. So it's going to be slightly more protected from zombies stepping on it and messing it up, and also easy to find again. I should have brought my axe, given that I'm in a park, but oh well, a little late. If I was smart, I would have. Because I'm in Louisville, there's a very limited amount of like true wilderness. If I headed to the extreme southeast, it becomes sort of foresty, but that's nowhere near where I am. Generally speaking, when you're setting up traps, you want to set them up where you can frequent them. So if it's like a epic drive to get to them, it's too far. You know, you want to be able to get there, you know, once every few days without it being some sort of trek. Alright, they're all baited. The runner-up was that I build a staircase to the roof. The only problem with that is I don't have my carpentry up. So I'm going to watch the carpentry tapes that I have to level that up. So I can start to do cool things with carpentry. Yeah, I am, Doorknob, I am preparing for the deepest of winter. Preparing to settle into the super cold. It's cold now, but it's only going to get worse. Oh, I need to mark where the traps are. So I put them... What icon for traps? Here. Because I'm trying to kill animals, I figure a burial site seems fitting. The zombie HP is a mod called Combat Text. But the highlighting, them turning green, is vanilla. If you want them to turn green when you aim at them, you just go... Where is it? Is it somewhere in display? I always forget exactly where it is. It's one of these. Oh, here it is. Aim outline any weapon, rather than just ranged weapons. That way, when you aim at zombies with your melee weapon, they'll illuminate. Quite nice. Highly, highly suggest, even if you're not a new player, because it's just really frustrating to try to gauge distance or whether you're hit or not, which is something that wouldn't happen in real life, right? Like, if you're holding a baseball bat and you're trying to swing on someone, like, you kind of know whether or not you're close enough to bother swinging. Whereas in Zomboid, it's really not that clear. So it just helps clear up that ambiguity. Which, in my opinion, is pretty reasonable. There's an aim mechanic for melee weapons? Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, not like there is for ranged weapons. The ranged weapons is actually fairly complicated for the aim mechanic because there's a lot of factors. One of the main factors for ranged weapons is how difficult the weapon is to use ranged. And not all weapons are the same. So famously, of course, the shotgun is stupidly easy to use. You can be level 1 aiming or level 0 aiming or whatever and hit like gangbusters with a shotgun. And then like an M16 requires like an aim of roughly 5 or 6 for you to actually start hitting your targets. Otherwise, you're just going to whiff all your shots. And there's no like tooltips or anything the game offers you for you to know that, which I find really strange. That it's not like, oh, this is a difficult weapon to use. You just have to know it from experience. So if you're new to Zomboid and you want to dip your toe into the deep end of the pool for firearms, use shotguns pretty much exclusively at first. And then once your aim level gets up there, then you can try other things. But don't bother with anything but basically shotguns. Some of the handguns are like okay to use, but they do so low damage that they're not worth it, in my opinion, for the noise that you cause. I'm going to update my priority here in just a second. Level up carpentry. And also, if you guys want to suggest goals for tomorrow, I'm going to refund everybody that had already. So feel free to suggest for tomorrow. Oh, I didn't hit play. That would help. So I'm just watching the tapes to try to level up my carpentry a little bit further. Because I need one more level of carpentry for me to be able to build stairs. So I'm definitely not going to be able to build stairs to the roof without leveling up a bit. But it's going to be a lot faster for me to get through the tapes. How good is exercising? Pretty much completely pointless unless you're using mods. The speed at which you level up your fitness and strength in vanilla, survivor, or apocalypse difficulty, it will take you like an in-game year to level it up. There are mods that give you traits that allow you to earn more experience from fitness and strength. And then there's also a mod setting that allows for your XP bonuses to affect your fitness and strength, which actually I turned on, which is why you see my strength meter actually moving a little bit. But normally it wouldn't. Okay, that was the Carpentry 7 tape. Woodcraft 7, and then 4 and 8 is also a Carpentry. I should be able to hit 6 with these tapes. Handguns do decent damage at point blank. Yeah, true. If you're at point blank, though, and you're against one zombie, shove it to the ground and stomp on it. And if you're against multiple zombies, a handgun is not going to help you anyway. You're probably going to want a two-handed weapon of some sort. That's why you almost never see me use handguns, because there's almost not, unless you're PvPing, there's almost not a point to using handguns, because they're just so underpowered. Unless you have like mods or custom settings. Have I found long johns? I have, yeah. Full body long johns. One thing I don't have is a scarf. That would be the big ticket item. Aren't shotguns super loud? They are. Probably the appropriate time to use shotguns, if you're new to the game, is to have like a giant stockpile of ammo. I'm talking like 10 boxes or so. And then find yourself in kind of a very open area where you have a lot of maneuverability. So shotguns make a ton of noise, but if you have enough ammo, you'll be able to kill everything that gets drawn to the noise, but only if you have enough ammo. And maybe even a backup shotgun, depending on how densely populated the area is, because you might need more than one. So I'm not at a point where I probably could use a shotgun without it causing more problems. But if I hit up some pawn shops and gun stores, you can submit it as a suggestion if you want. I could definitely start using shotguns in that case. Personally, I have no aversion to firearms. It's very situational. Okay, so I am basically at Carpentry 6, but not all the way there, so I'm going to have to do the rest of it myself. Good news is the metalwork just finished, so I can start breaking down metalwork stuff for bonus. And then the next book for Carpentry I'll stuff in my backpack. Before I go grinding more of the, more carpentry skill, I just want to check on the farm. Make sure it's being happy. Some needs watering, but it's fine for now. I'm not going to bother watering him. Mostly checking for disease. Dang. Got lucky. No plots had diseases. And in fact, standing next to this stove, I'm unpleasantly hot. Dude, cherish that feeling, man. Trust me. You will not feel unpleasantly hot for very long. So I know it's not part of the goal, but I am going to dismantle the metalwork stuff here too, while I take the counters out. Full demo of the everything. Another thing I probably am a little overdue for, given the other focuses that I've had, is refueling the stove. I imagine it's probably not happy with me at the moment. Oh, that was crazy. You couldn't figure out the pathing. Spinning in circles. I'm going to leave the washer behind in case I want to wash her in the future. Do my laundry. I'm actually about to hit metalwork 1. Like, one more sink. Two more. Cool. God, I am so close to carpentry. I'm just not going to be able to see my way around this apartment building in a second. There it is. Okay. Because it was a runner-up, if you want me to do any project with stairs or anything like that, it's going to have to be resubmitted. In fact, I should type some of the options up now, so you guys can vote on them. Oh, I need to read the next carpentry book. Not get ahead of me, myself. Do I have a generator going? Yes. Yes, I do. Whee! Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid Arctic, which originally streamed live on Twitch, May 4th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie slayers.